Good morning, everybody. Hey, y'all. It's Christine. I'm adjusting my screen a little bit to work with me here. I'm going to give you guys a heads up now. I am battling a little bit of a cold. I have successfully made it thus far in the winter without having any type of cold. So, every now and then, every now and then the germs attack. But I am still here for you because it is the first Saturday of Love Month. Da, 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 da. So we want to know who's been shot with Cupid's arrow and who hasn't. Anyways, but good morning, everyone. It is the first Saturday of Love Month. We are so happy to be here with you. You guys keep praying for Kat. Reach out if you have her information. Just send her some love and some support. She is still battling some health issues, but she is coming through victorious. I did speak with her last night, and she is still going. She is resting, but she is still going. And so let that be even a word of encouragement to some people who may have, some challenges in front of you, whether it's health, financial, business, work, relational. Keep going. You take time to rest. You take time to figure it out. Figure out what your next moves are, but you keep going. We don't quit. Okay. All right. So with that being said, good morning. Welcome to everyone coming into view the Kat Harvey and Christine show. We are so happy to be with you this Saturday. Feel free to follow us on any of our social handles, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Follow us on our various channels. You might hear some noise in the background, but everything's good. So feel free to follow us on our various channels, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. If you're already a supporter, hey, and thank you so much for being consistent. Thank you so much for joining us post after post, Saturday after Saturday, just to tune in and have a chat with your favorite girlfriends. Okay, so listen here. We're going to jump right into it. Today's show is a funny show. It is called LOVE, spells love, the best and worst relationship advice. Okay, so it's going to be funny, but you know that we always have like some serious points in there, but we lace it in a lot of laughter and encouragement. So it's not too much of a downer. But today's show is LOVE, spells love. Best and worst relationship advice. So I created a post on Facebook and I wanted to ask people for the best and worst relationship advice that they had received. And so we're just going to share it. And I know that the words that were spoken, they have been, or the posts that were, commented under my post, like the comments, they were from some people who are still without a spouse, or like they're single. Some are married, some are newly married. It's just anything and everything goes. Best and worst relationship advice. I'm going to save the worst for last because it's hilarious. I also have a little something I'm going to loop in a little bit later on in the video, but let's just jump into this. So best and worst relationship advice. Here we go. The best advice someone said they received was communication is not just talking, but it is talking so that the other person understands. That is a huge point. A lot of us talk at someone and we don't really, make it so that it's palatable, which means that it's like digestible, even if whether it's like something light or something that's a little bit heavier and serious, and you really need to get your point across. Sometimes the more serious the topic, the more intense we become in our delivery, which is not good because then that makes the other person or other parties just go, I don't want any parts of it. So best advice that they received was communication is not just talking, but it is talking so that the other person understands. Okay, so now let's go to the next one, which is the best advice they received. She said, you have to create a recipe for your own relationship. Recipe sounds like food. Yum, yum, yum. Stir it up in the kitchen. But you have to create a recipe for your own relationship. What works for one couple may never work for you or for another couple. But you all have to figure out what that looks like, what your recipe looks like for you. You know, what are the carrots of your relationship? What are the Brussels sprouts of your relationship? What's the protein source? What's the the sweet source? What is, all the different components that make up a recipe? How long do you leave it on the stove? When do you take it off? Do you let it cool down, or do you jump into this meal right away? Y'all hear my sniffles. And I should have brought some tissue, but I didn't. So that's why I got to hurry up and keep going. So anyways, the relationship, I like that analogy, that relationship, the formula that works for your relationship is a recipe. I like that because recipes are complex. They have many different factors. It's not just one thing that makes a relationship win and that makes a relationship just soar. There are multiple things. Some things in a recipe, and we all know this from cooking, you have to prep a particular part of the recipe prior to even getting all the other ingredients out, right? Some things may need to be boiled before they are taken out or taken off of the stove, and then they have to cool, then you have to chop them up. And something like that would be like a potato, very hot, when it comes right off the stove. So you do have to let it cool. But initially, a potato is very hard and can be a little difficult to slice through. But depending on what your recipe is, you know what you need to do to the ingredients so that when they all come together, they make an amazing dish. So I like that. You have to create your own recipe. You have to create the recipe for your own relationship. Another one, best advice they said they received was, sometimes successful relationships are just knowing how to take a walk and not make so much noise when you get upset. I'm just going to drop the mic rather, right there. Excuse me, say what? Knowing how to just take a walk and not make so much noise when you get upset. Wow, that was a mouthful. We can digest that nugget over and over and over again. Wow, how to take a walk and not make so much noise when you get upset. So let's break that down. Anger is an emotion. It's natural. It is supposed to come in response to certain things. And so then when it comes, I think personally, these are the thoughts of A. Christine. I think that sometimes we're taught that anger is a bad thing, and that's not true. Anger is natural. It should, and it does come, and that's fine. I think where we mess up is we don't know what to do with the anger. We don't know how to redirect that energy, channel that energy somewhere else, and not towards our partner, not towards our spouse, not towards our friend, because that's where we kind of mess up. You know what I mean? We start to then say things that we don't mean, do things that we don't, that we didn't mean to do. But in the moment, I was just caught up in the moment. I was feeling myself. And then you mess up and do some stuff that you can't take back. Yeah, you can apologize, but apologies don't fix everything. You know what I mean? Apologies don't take the sting out of a sore. It just doesn't, And so now your partner, whether it's a friend or a spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, they have to live with what you just inflicted on them, whether it was words. I hope no one is getting physical, but let's say in case you do struggle with your anger in that way, you got physical and you shoved this person, yeah, they have to deal with that sore spot. They have to deal with that bruise. They have to, now cover it up. Now it's a thing of shame for them and disbelief also on the other end because they can't believe that you did that. I love you. I thought you loved me. Why would you do this? And it's not that the aggressor doesn't. The aggressor just doesn't know what to do with their anger. Now, in no way, shape, or form, okay, y'all, hear me clearly. In no way, shape, or form am I making any excuse for anyone who gets physical. You have to own up to what you did, do apologize, and take corrective steps towards letting go of that expression of anger, let go of that habit. And again, I just don't think that a lot of us were taught what to do and how to redirect that anger. The second part of that advice was taking a walk. Take a walk. Get outside. And now, and I'm going to say this, getting outside and taking a walk seems to be a theme with us since we even started the show. We have just been saying for years, there is magic in getting outside. There is magic in taking a walk and releasing some steam. It allows your mind to clear up. You can process things a little bit clearer. All of a sudden, the level of anger that you had is no longer there. And even if it is there, it's not as strong as it was. So what you have to do is take that walk, go outside, breathe, let some sun get on your skin, and go from there. You have to just go from there. You know what I mean? Then come back into the situation when you're a little bit cooler and maybe your mind is thinking a little bit more logically. Okay. And, your first reaction isn't to yell and say crazy stuff that you can't take back, So I think maybe just as like a sub point of any of the shows at some point, I'm going to share just the benefits of going outside. Because honestly, we have been sharing that for years now, the magic of taking a walk. It may need to even be a show. But, if you've experienced that, if you've experienced, some extreme levels of anger or just, whatever level of anger that you may have dealt with in a particular situation, if you took the opportunity to just go outside and blow off your steam, walk it off, I would love for you to jump in a comment and just let us know, what the difference was versus when you didn't. I can be honest with you and tell you when I got into recently, this past summer, when I would get into some very heated conversations with my husband, I would go take a walk. I would take a walk. I mean, I would, y'all, I'm just going to say this. In my taking a walk, I discovered 2 new parks, a side of my neighborhood that I had never seen, yard sales. Okay. I discovered everything. And that's not to say, Christine just has a really bad temper. No, but it's like my walk started because I was upset, right? But then when you're out there, you kind of fall in love with what you're doing out there, and you're not really in a rush to go back into crazy stuff, right? Y'all, don't meme my face when I do that. Don't do that. I love y'all, but don't do that. But you're not in a rush to get back into a crazy situation. It gives me time to pray. It gives me time to clear my mind. Of course, there's the physical component. But as you are doing that physical component, it releases something in your body that is known as the happy chemical. And so it causes your mood and your emotions to shift. You're able to see things a little bit clearer because anger is no longer clouding your judgment. So, the more you walk, the more the clouds dissipate. So keep that note. And then I love the other part of it that just says, and not making so much noise when you get upset. Even if you say, okay, I'm going to go outside, don't kick over a chair. Don't knock anything off the wall. Don't throw some keys down. Don't huff and puff. Just making a show of it. I'm just going to let you know how upset I am. relax, because that can be a whole different thing. My husband knows that for me, huffing and puffing is a trigger. And I've gotten a lot better, but I can admit that I would stay calm for a good amount of time, but then that huff and puff would come, and I'm like, what's wrong with your mouth? Why are you breathing like that? And so on and so forth. Here we go, right? But just learning how not to make a lot of noise when you're upset. Learn how to exit some stuff quietly. Or just with less noise than what you normally would. Everything's a process. So that's okay if you make some noise, but don't be disrespectful. Don't punch a hole in the wall, because not somebody has to come fix that, or you have to fix it. So you know what I mean? So I like that one. Knowing how to take a walk and not make so much noise when you get upset. So let me see. Now let's jump into, we got one more good one that I want to share. Don't take today's issues into tomorrow. Wow, that's a big one. For a lot of us who are Christians, we were taught, don't go to sleep don't go to sleep angry. I don't know, that's a heavy one. It's it's simple, but it carries a lot of weight. And I am here as a married woman of 7 years to tell you I've gone to sleep angry many times. Many times. So I don't want to, but let's be honest here. Let's be real. I'm sure a lot of us have. I've gone to sleep angry and woke up mad, okay? It's not like the sleep helped me. I woke up mad, woke up even more upset because you let me go to sleep angry. And you didn't talk or want to talk and solve this. All you wanted to do was, but do you hear what I'm doing in all of those statements? I'm pointing the finger of blame about you let me go to sleep angry. You didn't want to talk. You are the reason that I was angry in the first place. And it's like, yeah, and that's with the neck roll. That's with the neck roll, you all. I've been there. Oh my goodness. Y'all, I have been there, okay? So what I'm saying is, don't take today's issues into tomorrow. One, we all know the saying, tomorrow is not promised. Like, we all know that cliche. And that is true, which I think is why we all know what the scripture says about, don't sleep on your anger. It's good not to go to sleep angry because you don't know what tomorrow holds. And the very person that you're fighting tooth and nail may be the person that's on your team, or is the person that's on your team when all hell breaks loose in your life, in their life, in both of your lives. I have gone to sleep very angry with my husband and woke up the next day on fire. Like, I'm ready for you to say anything. Now, I'm not going to just say something to you, and just kind of kick it back up. But if you look at me funny, if you breathe funny, if you so much as say anything that I possibly take the wrong way, that's it. World War III. It's the truth. Y'all, listen, but I've come a long way. God is good. Because you can take those issues right to him. But anyways, back to what I was saying. And so ready to go to war, right? With my teammate, ready to go to war. And we have woken up the next day and bam, life hit us. Like, this happened. And this is something that we have to figure out together. Boom, this person is doing this. And this is something that we have to figure out together. And so now, how I was so ready to just, if you feeling froggy, leap. You know what I mean? I was there. But now life has happened. And I'm a little thrown off because this has happened. But then also I'm a little thrown off because I was mad. I was still over here, and life was like, wham. No, I don't have time for you to be mad at him. No, I don't have time for you to want him to say something just so it could send you over the edge. I don't have time for you to be ready for whatever he's going to say today. I don't have time for round two. That's life talking to you. I don't have time for round two. Shake it off, get it together, get with your teammate, because here I come. Like a wrecking ball, actually. What's that Miley Cyrus song? I came in like a wrecking ball. Bam. All you ever do is wreck me. Y'all know the song. But what I'm saying is life will come at you like a wrecking ball. And if you're not careful, you will be so caught off guard and like not ready to respond, because I'm still in yesterday. I'm still mad. I want you to say something. I want to argue. You know what I mean? Like, come on, y'all, let's be honest. I'm ready for you. Like, let's do this. You think you got something to say? I got something to say. But then life comes in, wrecking ball, right? And you're caught off guard because you were built up for this situation. But now life requires of you to show up and drop that, but show up with the same level of intensity too. Show up with that same level of intensity to what it's throwing at you. So don't take today's issues into tomorrow. And I can go on and on about that one, but there are so many reasons why. Get outside and take that walk. Remember to develop your own recipe with your spouse. And honestly, let me give you some real life advice there. You do that by asking what's your love language. If your spouse doesn't know what love language even means, more simply, what do you like? What don't you like? And if you're ready for it, ask them, are there things that I do that you just deal with, but you really prefer that I don't? And this is not that you're changing your whole life for that person, because then ideally you would like for them to ask you the same questions. The point is to spark open conversation. And so that goes to that note of communication is not just talking, but it's talking so that the other person understands. So when you start asking your spouse, or your partner, whoever, what's your love language, or what do you like? What don't you like? And then not just centered on you or the relationship. What's some stuff that you like to do, like outside of the home? How do you solve problems, like when they bring it to you at work, or, if you all don't work together? What did you do in that situation again? And remember when so-and-so was doing this at your job, tell me about that again. Like, what did you do to handle that? And so by asking questions and probing a little bit and listening, maybe even taking notes, you can actually develop good communication. You can develop a better way to respond. You can understand how your spouse is wired and how they will respond. And hopefully, as they ask you those questions in return, and you all just open up conversation and it just flows, right? Hopefully they'll gain a better understanding of you and how you respond to things. So, anywho, that's that. Let me really quick share this funny video with you all. I like this guy's videos. He's so funny. He always wears like this wig and he imitates a woman. It's funny, but just bear with me. I'm going to share this. This is like a bad relationship advice. Okay, here we go.
Hey, thank you guys for coming today. Yeah, what's up, bro? So I just started dating this girl. She is amazing, and I just don't want to screw it up. All right, I know exactly what to do. I am an expert at this. Okay. So first you're going to think about your needs, your wants, your desires. Yeah, now bury them. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, shove them way down deep. You want this to work? You want to not be abandoned? Then their needs take priority over yours every time. Okay, so how do I go about setting boundaries so that I'm not neglected? What's a boundary? Wow, terrible advice. What you need to do is be hot and cold. How so? Like, enjoy spending time together. Be affectionate, be playful, have fun, show them that you're into them, and then pull away hard. No. Yeah, ghost them real good. Why? She got too close, bro. She was smothering us. She wasn't smothering us. She was stealing our independence. I could feel it. Clearly, it's smarter to just be hyper aware of any threat that she's leaving you. You think so? Yeah, use her to cover up your own insecurities and fears and ask her for constant reassurance that she still loves you and isn't going to leave. So needy. And when she occasionally forgets to text you back, assume the worst and send her like 25 texts and missed calls. That's how people know you love them. That doesn't sound like love. That would scare off even a sane person. Don't be crazy, bro. Let's not forget, distance equals safety, right? You can't trust people. They've hurt you too bad in the past. Closeness means you're setting yourself up to be hurt again, but then you'll never experience deep intimacy and trust and vulnerability with someone. I don't know what those words mean, but I know they make me very uncomfortable. I think we can all agree that it's a good idea to rely on someone else to feel whole as a person. I mean, they complete us. How am I supposed to know I'm valuable if they don't see me as valuable? That sounds...
Wow. Y'all, that is crazy. Oh my gosh. Okay. So there's more to the video, and maybe I can share that part like next week when we come back. So that was about 1 minute and 30 seconds. It's a 3-minute video, and I can share the other half next week when we come back, and let's just laugh through it. But as he was sharing those funny points, do we not all know that stuff like that actually happens? Do we not all know people that actually operate like that? Right? And do we not, say that was me at one time? I was the one who wanted to just know, hey, I just want to make sure that you still love me. So I need you to tell me like 20,000 times a day. And then if you don't text me back, if you don't call me back, I'm blowing up your phone because I have assumed the worst. And I just want to make sure that you're okay and that you still love me. Okay. Y'all, we have some growing to do. So that was worst. That was the worst relationship advice. But then also with that, I actually have 2 points of the relationship advice that people shared online, and they were surrounding the same thing. The first bad piece of relationship advice was, let him cheat in silence. Excuse me? Okay. Anyways, that anger in me almost just stood up and said no, or let's whoop his tail in silence. Anyways, y'all don't judge me because y'all know y'all been there too. I wish you would. Let him cheat in silence. In other words, even after you're made aware of it, even after you have a hunch, even after you validate that hunch, if it's keeping him happy with you, he's able to get what he needs on the side, still provide and be a great husband and father or boyfriend or whatever to you, let him cheat in silence. That does not make any sense at all. None at all. And the next one is even worse. Cheat back, sis. Oh my gosh. Guys, we have some jacked up relationship advice from some people who have, or some people who are jacked up themselves. Okay. Never am I ever going to just cheat back. And I get it because we do want to seek revenge sometimes. Let's just be honest. We know, according to the Bible, that vengeance is mine, said the Lord. Also, another scripture says, the battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. But every now and then we just say, I can't believe so-and-so would do this to me. I'm going to get them back. I'm about to get them back. I'm getting my lick back. So I know I got a lot of people on here who like, I get my lick back type of people. Listen, in a situation like this, don't do that, because then all you're doing is, spreading more seeds of hurt and pain. And while you might feel good in that moment, like, yes, I got him back, really, what are you doing? You're actually spreading yourself much more, you're spreading yourself thinner than you can even possibly imagine. You don't want to be used goods by the time you actually meet your forever. And this is even if it's your spouse that you're currently married to. My advice, honestly, is to wrap your things up, get your attorney, serve them papers, and move on. Take the necessary process and steps to heal. But don't get that lick back. We gotta stop doing. We got to stop doing it. We got to stop doing it because stuff like this only continues to create more and more of a cycle. And then we teach our kids this, our nieces and nephews, people that we mentor in the community. Nah, sis, get your lick back. Nope, don't let him. Man, he's a clown. If he didn't understand the valuable princess or queen that he was with and he decided to step out on you, he's a clown. If she didn't understand the valuable prince or king that she was with and she decided to step out on you, she's a clown. Your lick back is serving those divorce papers and scooting on with your life. So anyways, that was the best and the worst relationship advice. For that best advice, again, let's remember to work on communication. Let's work on that relationship recipe and the different components that work for your, for you and your partner. Let's remember to be angry because that's okay. It's a natural feeling and emotion, but let's not punch any walls. Let's not punch our partners. But take a walk, get outside, take a walk, clear your mind, come back into the situation, and then verbalize what you need to say in a calmer way. And I'm sure that your partner will be able to receive it better as well. Do not let him cheat in silence and do not cheat back. Don't be ultra clingy and crazy. If they don't respond, they're probably busy. That does not mean they're cheating. You know what I mean? So that just, anyways, don't get that lick back. Move on. We got to grow up and move on. So anyways, guys, this is A. Christine. I hope that you all have enjoyed today's show. We will be back next Saturday from 10 a.m. to 10:30 Central, 11 a.m. to 11:30 Eastern with more Love Month tips. Okay, with more Love Month tips, and I was going to say tips and tricks, but I don't think that's the right word. We're going to be back next week. I believe Kat will be joining me. Yay. But with that being said, I hope that you all have enjoyed today's show. Remember to connect with us on our various platforms, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And with that being said, see you next week.